Welcome back, Petrolheads. I hope you are doing fantastic and that your cars are working perfecto. Welcome back in another episode, driving episode, POV episode, but this is going to be a little bit different because I want to talk to you about one thing which I see quite often, and I think it's very important and you should never do it because it's stopping you from becoming a better driver. Cutting corners. Why you should never do this. And I know someone in the comments will give me a comment that, this is exactly how you should drive because people drive like that on the racetrack. Yeah, I know, but road is not a racetrack, right? I know on the racetrack you go from the outside to the inside to the outside, right? But this is not the racetrack. So basically you should never cut corners. There are a couple of reasons. Oh, great, the road is closed. Okay, famous for me a turning circle. Okay, so we'll just go the other way. Okay, yeah, so coming back. So why you should never do something like that? Partially because it's a blind corner most of the time, right? So you don't know if something is coming from the opposite direction, if there is a car coming from the opposite direction. So imagine you are in the middle of the road, pushing your limits, let's say, a little bit, right? And then from the other side, from the opposite side, goes another car which is in the middle of the road too. But that other driver is simply not the best driver, is not feeling comfortable behind the wheel, and that's why he or she is cutting the corner. Imagine that situation. Then you are in quite a lot of trouble because you never know what this person from the opposite direction is going to do. Obviously, if you are cutting corners, you do not feel comfortable enough to drive faster in them, so you should never do it. Simply, it's a safety measure, right? You should never cut corners because it might be very unsafe, it might be very dangerous. The second reason, and I think this is the most important one from the perspective of a true petrolhead and someone who enjoys cars, who loves driving cars, who wants to become better at driving her car, is simply the abilities, right? Cutting corners takes away your skills, let's say. It will make you a much worse driver. In this sense that, let's say, when you are cutting corners, you are not learning how the car actually will behave in the corner, how your car behaves in the corner. You lose all of the feelings. You do not see how the car reacts on the corner because you are making the straight out of it. You don't see how the tires react. You don't see how suspension behaves. You don't see how you behave, right? Because you are taking away the G-forces which are letting you know how you are driving, right? What's happening with the car. So this is the second reason. Basically, you shouldn't be cutting corners if you want to become a better driver. Then when you start doing it a little bit more, you will also notice that it's very important to be in the correct gear, right? To downshift before the corner if you are pushing into it, because you will have some additional power pulling you into the corner, right? So this is also something very important. So here is the perfect example of a corner which is quite long, and I can see everyone is cutting this corner because it has two, let's say, how do you call it, apexes, right? Yeah, it has two apexes and everyone is cutting it. See, exactly, this guy is cutting the corner. Of course, I understand that most of the people who are cutting corners, they do that because they simply do not feel comfortable with going this fast into the given corner, right? If you do not feel comfortable, just slow down. There's nothing shameful about this. Just slow down. Go slower, but go in your own lane. The third reason is just simply having fun. When you are cutting corners, you are taking away all of the fun from cornering. There are much more G-forces going through the car, through your body also. You can feel with your butt on the seat what's happening with the car. This is much more fun, much more enjoyable. And then you will also notice that you don't need to drive as fast to enjoy twisty roads, right? This is quite a sharp turn. Look at the lanes. See? All of the lanes are just scratched because everyone is cutting these corners. Don't cut corners. It's too much fun, right? It's way too much fun. It gives way too much pleasure. For me, there is no reason for cutting corners on the road. I know sometimes when we are very tired and we are coming back from work after a very hard day at work and we just don't want to focus too much on the driving, we just want to get that road done and come back home. Okay, in this sense I kind of understand, but still, don't cut blind corners like in this one. See, this is exactly the corner that this guy was starting to cut, right? If you do not feel comfortable, just don't drive fast. You don't have to. I feel comfortable and I feel well and I know this corner quite well. Just go flat. And another one. Here we cannot cut it because we would go into the ditch, right? But that would be it. Enough of my rambling. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you think this is exactly what we should avoid. So we should avoid cutting corners. Maybe you have different perspectives. Maybe I didn't mention some positives of this, or maybe there are some negatives of this. Let me know. I think this is a very good way to become a better driver, to have more fun. Nice 159. Yeah, so just let me know. I'm curious to see and hear what do you guys think.